of sense to me. And just being in the DMV, in the DC area, so many people I meet, they are federal employees. Almost everyone. I was a government contractor, everyone's doing it. So I wanted to know, like, your advice that you could give to people who want to leave being an employee and actually just contracting themselves.
Stay. Allow yourself to use the government's money to fund your dreams, if that makes sense. I think that, me being in the government allowed me to see the other side of the field, right? Like I'm Bill Belichick, you know what I'm saying? I got the headphone in and I can hear the other people play before they even play them, and now I'm like, I understand it so much more when I take the contracting officer representative course, right? And know what the evaluation criteria really means, and know who the most important people you're supposed to talk to at the agency are, and how to build those relationships so that you can get into the space. So stay in the government, learn from it.
Welcome to Extremely Opinionated. I'm your host, Dr. Travis, and
Tiffany from Small Business Saturdays.
We hope that you can find something that you can utilize in your everyday life from our business owners who are thriving and successful today.
Hopefully we can apply their life experience, expertise, and overall information that they have to share with us in our lives to improve it for the better. Thanks for listening.
So Todd, tell us how you got into government contracting.
Got into government contracting by word of mouth and by accident. Being in the federal government, I had an opportunity to meet a number of different folks that were people of color in the space. And it seemed like they needed a little bit of help. And I was really interested in not being a federal employee 9 to 5 anymore. And so I won't say I volunteered, but I showed them that I had some value to add to their organization, and they brought me in as a consultant and then as a partner. And so worked with that company for the last few years. And from their word of mouth, I've gained a few more clients and helped expand a few companies that are looking to sell pretty soon in the government contracting space. So it's been great.
Hey, you said sell. That means you're talking some big coins over there.
Exit. Escape. Relax.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm trying to get to right there. Relaxation.
Oh, you will, man. You dedicated, so I already know.
You know it.
And I know that you're an engineer. So would you say that your degree kind of helped you move over into the space that you're in now?
You want me to lie?
No, to be honest.
I think on the credibility sense, like when you go to school and you get a degree, you had to fight hard. You had to, stay up late. You had to understand complex concepts, and know things that other people don't know because they didn't take the time to learn it. It's not impossible to be an engineer. So I think it helped me? Yes, on the credibility sense. Bachelor's, master's, PhD level work. When people hear that, they say, okay, he's a rocket scientist. Whatever he says is right. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I had to read about it. I had to study it. I had to try and fail. That's why some of the things that I might say are right, but I don't think the degree means everything. And if you have real value and real proof of work, then school, man, I can go down a rabbit hole in school, so I don't even want to take it down that path.
Go down a long rabbit hole, and I completely agree with you on that. I graduated computer engineer as well, and outside of life lessons and learning how to get around engineer answers, because they got a little difficult in school sometimes, but you figured it out. I think that helped me with starting business where I am today. It's just, like you said, it helped you. Like you figure shit out as you go. And
right.
You're right. As long as you have that society, for some reason, as long as you have that title, that degree, that PhD, they just consider you a guru. And
you got a certification. Let me see PMP, CSCP, IEEE. You know, it's all good, man. Like it's a test. You know, you had to take an exam. You had to study for it. You had to meet the basic qualifications and all that kind of stuff. But I know a lot of PMPs that, I wouldn't pay them a dime.
Never lied. You ain't never lied.
Wouldn't pay them a dime. This is me.
So a lot of people have like misconceptions when they hear people talk about entrepreneurship ventures, what it means to be an entrepreneur, why even go into this field. So can you please tell me like some misconceptions you find when you hear people talking about serial entrepreneurship?
I like cereal. French, what is it? Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's my favorite. Serial entrepreneurship, right? I think it's not necessarily serial entrepreneurship. It's diversifying your revenue streams, income streams. The misconception is, there's a whole bunch of common misconceptions that people always throw out there when I'm talking to folks that are just jumping into business. They talk about, man, I'm just gonna start an LLC and I'm just gonna make $100,000 next year, and it's not fast. I guess I think no money's fast. So if somebody says, hey, this is my Bentley and you can make this in, you can get a Bentley in 2 years or 25 days with my program, right? That it's just not real. It's hard work, dedication, consistency over time. So I think that, entrepreneurship and serial entrepreneurship and making money from different businesses. This is a property. I got it for 300,000. I'm gonna sell it for 6. And that's just a revenue stream. I enjoy, working with the contractors, learning about the different elements of electrical, mechanical, plumbing, HVAC, all that stuff, right? So building my repertoire. So if I'm sitting down with somebody who's in the construction or real estate industry, we might be able to speak the same lexicon, the same lingo. And I think
we lost you there on that last Indian part, but you always say something that makes me change my understanding of words. And how you just say, you like serial entrepreneur, but you don't really consider it like entrepreneur. It's more so diversifying your money, and you just happen that it's in this skill set. Like people would consider you an entrepreneur for flipping houses, but it sounds like you're just like, hey, I'm putting my money over here, and I happen to learn a little bit about flipping houses. And I always tell people you're not really doing it. Although I've seen you, sometimes you even got out there with some sweat equity, lifting some dirt out of that basement. But for the most part, you're hiring professionals and you're managing the people and watching your numbers.
Yes, you just said it, bro.
That's it. And
that's exactly it.
That's how I got the concept. But I'm definitely going to use that line right there. Stop saying serial entrepreneur. It's just diversifying money, man.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense to me. And just being in the DMV, in the DC area, so many people I meet, they are federal employees. Almost everyone. I was a government contractor. Everyone's doing it. So I wanted to know, like, your advice that you could give to people who want to leave being an employee and actually just contracting themselves. Stay.
Allow yourself to use the government's money to fund your dreams, if that makes sense. I think that, me being in the government allowed me to see the other side of the field, right? Like I'm Bill Belichick, you know what I'm saying? I got the headphone in and I can hear the other people's plays before they even play them, and now I'm like, I understand it so much more when I take the contracting officer representative course, right? And know what the evaluation criteria really means, and know who the most important people you're supposed to talk to at the agency are, and how to build those relationships so that you can get into the space. So stay in the government, learn from it, learn what's important, what adds value, why is it valuable, who's getting all the contracts, why are they getting all the contracts, and then if you're not even thinking about government contracting, you want to go into something else, then allow the 9 to 5 to fund your freedom.
You're right. And let me ask you this, because I come across this a lot when I try to educate people about government contracting that are in the government, and how you told them to stay. A lot of them have a fear that they can't do outside work working with the government. They feel like they've signed some type of clause that shuts them down from working with the entire federal government. Could you talk about that a little more? Like, is that true?
So what you have to do is sign an agreement, and I'm not going to lie, I need to learn the name of the agreement, but it's with, you go to the general counsel, you let them know that you're doing outside work, right? As a financial disclosure, and you're saying, hey, I'm working over here, I'm doing this over here, and this is where my revenue sources are coming from. And what you can do is find partners that have work and that can work with you to work at outside agencies. And it's very, basically that simple. There's a way around it, and the best way around it is to tell people what you're doing. Because if they find out, like if you get a DUI and you have a clearance, and you don't tell the people that you got a DUI, you're gonna lose your clearance immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But if you tell them, snitch on yourself, obviously, they will give you a pardon, give you a pass,
mm-hmm.
ask you to go to some classes, but you're going to keep your TS SCI. That's more valuable than a couple drinks at the club.
You never lied about that one. And so, I mean, if you guys are out there just listening to this, like they're working in the government, like understand that you can still perform. Like there's ways around everything in the government. Like don't allow that fear that's been somebody instilled it in you to stop you from moving forward. Because guys, we don't want to be stuck with a $60,000 check for the rest of our life. Like you can expand, and that's why we're talking about government contracting, because it's quite lucrative when done correctly, and anybody can get in this thing. Like it's all about being strategic, and you can win.
That's a good word.
You can win. So yeah, I definitely appreciate you for sharing that information, and hopefully our listeners catch on to this, what he's saying right there.
Go talk to your general counsel. Go talk to your general counsel and see what you can and can't do.
And you talk about telling people not to leave, right? But then, that's 40 hours a week, and then we may have a family or something else we're doing. So how do you balance it all?
I was like, you're getting real personal. I was looking at those questions. I'm like, oh, she's about to talk about this. You make time for what you want. There's 24 hours in a day, like my dad always used to say. And so the 9 to 5, government work is what it is. Make sure you don't use your government equipment for your outside business, and after hours you make the time, right? Like if you get off at 4, you got the whole rest of the day to make something happen. You see what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, when it comes to government contracting, and if you're going to be servicing another firm, you're not necessarily the person that's doing the servicing. Like, you don't have to be the center point of your business. You have to have great people that are better than you around you that can do that work for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
It makes sense.
So outsource, not outsource, but hire good folks. Either way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I wanted to just talk about culture and race for a minute, because again, being in the DMV, there are a lot of African Americans that are federal employees. Like that is the bulk of what people do in this area: military, government, right? So a lot of African Americans have misconceptions about government contracting because they don't know the end. They don't know how to get in. They don't know where they fit in. What advice can you give those?
You're saying being Black and trying to do government contracting?
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter who you are. I think race is a really interesting topic and is a distraction. You know, I'm Black when my name's Todd. You know,
Right.
so that helps sometimes. But ultimately, I think that you wake up the same way, you eat your food the same way, you put your clothes on the same way as anybody else, and you have the power to think. I think humans, the most innovative technology, the most advanced technology in the world is the human brain, right? And so whether you're black, white, green, yellow, purple, pink, you got a brain. And if you're able to use it, that's all that really matters. And that's what Travis said earlier about strategy, being strategic. So use your brain to be strategic in order to make business work for you.
Absolutely.
So go ahead,
Go ahead.
Travis. I was just gonna say your race is not a limitation, but go ahead.
No, it's definitely not a limitation. And I actually, I think it actually is a great thing when it comes to the government being Black and the other races that they have there that can get you set aside at work. So Todd, have you utilized being an African American male that is one economically disadvantaged according to the government?
Yeah.
Have you utilized that to win work? And if so, like, I don't think a lot of us know about that space that we're allowed to utilize being Black. And
They better go to sba.gov and look it up. HubZone, very easy to get. You live in a place that's considered economically disadvantaged. I think the 8A is a unique element that you can, let's say, leverage, but ultimately it's a short duration. The good part about having a disadvantaged small business at 8A, you can get direct award. And if you're a native, Alaska Native company, you can get direct award, sole source without competition, right? And so that's a beautiful thing. So you want to be able to leverage that when the time comes. So when you're prepared, you have the great staff, you have great practice areas, you have great services, you have great relationships, past performance, or you've subcontracted a number of times where the folks at the agency know who you are. That is the key right there. Either you're working for a contractor or you're subcontracting, and people know you individually made an impact on their organization, added value somehow, some way. Hey, you just brought coffee every morning and said hello and smiled, and somebody's like, you know what, I like that person. And then eventually, they'll ask you for something or say, why don't you start your own company? And you'll automatically get into the space. And I'm not saying that just like fictitiously and making it up. Like, I've seen it. So my millionaire mentor, I'm getting ready to do a little 10-part series with him. It's a white guy. Reached out. We met at a car rally. We were, racing cars around the city and all that. And his name's Dave Hell, and he has a company, DHA. Just sold it for $50 million, 2018. Was working with the FBI and 3 other agencies for 25 years. Sold for $50 million. Could have sold it for more, obviously, but you got to think about taking the cash out version, or the cash and some equity, or hey, you still manage it, but we're going to pay you something and it's going to be a long time. So when somebody says, if I give you $50 million right now, or $100 million over the next 20 years, take the $50 million. Mm-hmm. The time value of money is important. He took the $50 million, he's flipping it, he's investing it, he's learning. And some of the things he's told me about how he got started was literally him being an excellent employee of a contractor, and the large contractors like MITRE Corporation, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, all that kind of stuff. They're like a giant aircraft carrier. It takes a lot of energy and effort to kind of slow down and stop and turn a direction and go somewhere else. They got to get approvals and all that kind of stuff. A speedboat or even a jet ski, right? you can boop, boop, turn real fast, get around, and make change of direction and go real fast in another direction, right? And that's kind of what happened with him. He's a jet ski that turned into, you know, I'll call him a attack boat. He didn't get that big as an aircraft carrier, but he definitely got to the point where he was dangerous. And another company said, "Hey, you're doing way too well at my clients that I got to buy you out."
That's as simple as it is, man. When these big companies feel you as a threat, they just gonna come by you. Like, and it's not just because, you know, Amazon does this model. You know, Zappos, for instance. You know, they thought that it was a shoe threat. They went and bought Zappos, and now we don't have a shoe threat. And
just shut it down.
They do the exact same stuff in the federal government. You know, if you seem like you're a threat, which you can be a threat, as Todd is saying, it's like you can be a threat to a big boy when you're strategic, and they'll come get you. You ain't even got to go look for them. Trust me, they'll find you.
Right. What's the strategy? Okay. So, you know, an incumbent was, you know, been there for 5-10 years. They're moving slow. They're not adding any value. And they're one of the big, you know, 3 or whatever, right? And you go up to the contracting officer and you say, "Hey, have you met your, you know, set aside metrics for a year? You know, are you meeting the SBA metrics and all that kind of stuff?" And they're like, "Well, actually, we're like 20% below the amount of money that we're supposed to spend." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'd be interested in, you know, I've been doing this work as a subcontractor here, or I've been doing this, doing that. And, you know, it would be interesting if that recompete came out on a new contract as a 8A. You know, that would help you meet your metrics, wouldn't it?" And we're like, "You know what? Makes sense." You know, and here's a white paper about some of the things that you can do differently. If that white paper shows up in the RFP, like just bullets of the white paper, you know, or if you say you need somebody with a specific experience that only my company has, right? Just throw that in there. You see what I'm saying? And that will be part of the qualification that excludes everyone else. And that makes it much easier for you to get in to that agency. So thinking about those strategies, about communicating, about writing white papers, about having, you know, excellent customer service and even better employee service, like making sure your employees are happy. Man, I could talk all day about it.
That actually leads into my next question, because when I first got into the federal government, I was just like monitoring alarm systems, and I couldn't believe how easy it was and how much they were going to pay me just to do that. I was like, this is all we're doing all day. Are you kidding?
Right.
But I didn't really have a passion for it, but I'm like, hey, it's easy money. I'm not really doing anything. I worked from like 6 to 2. It was like the easiest job ever. So I wanted to know, like, do you have to have a passion for whatever field you choose when going into government contracting? That, I mean, should it be a passion where you're going to be successful at it, or does that matter at all?
I guess there's 2 answers to that one. I mean, let's see. Passion about what you're doing. I would say it depends at what stage of business you are. If you're, you know, brand new, just learning about government contracting, I mean, just learning about what you want to do, learning about yourself. I think if you're self-aware enough, early enough, and you're passionate, like my mentee right now, he's 17, just graduated from high school, doesn't want to go to college. I was like, "What do you want to do?" He's like, "I want to be a tattoo artist." And I was like, huh. And I gave him all the reasons why he probably doesn't want to be a tattoo artist right now. And he's like, "Nope, that's what I want to do. Passionate about it." So I made him get up on the whiteboard, and I'll send you the video. And he wrote out, you know, how much does he need to make per month to survive out here in these streets? He's like, "All right, $2,300 per month." And I was like, "Okay, so how many people you have to do to get $2,300 per month? How about double that? How much you have to get $55,000 per month?" He's like, "Okay, I can do, if my prices are $50 for small tattoos, $150 for bigger, and $230 for the large tattoos. It takes me X amount of hours to do it, and this is the efficiency that I can have." Like, I'm teaching them this stuff as we go along. And then I'm like, "Okay, now think about that. How much is that going to give you? $5,000 per week. Okay, how much is that per month? How much is that per year? You know, that sounds like a good, salary. And he's like, yeah, I could do it. And I was like, but what if you had 10 people that could do that same thing and make that same amount, and you have to do no work? You could do tattoos when you want to. Like, when you feel like doing art, you do art. Any other time, you have an enterprise of people doing work for you, making you money without you having to spend any effort. I say create a system, saving yourself significant time, energy, and money. SYSTEM. And I think that part, like, he's passionate about that. Turn your passion into dollars. I feel like there should have been a cooler saying, but it didn't come out anyway. Passion to cashing. But when it comes to like government contracting or whatever, right? It's to the point where you find something that you're good at and find passion in delivering value, because that's really all it is. It's like showing other people, making other people's lives easier, doing the grunt work that nobody else wants to do. Be passionate about doing stuff like that. Like, what you're passionate at, you have to be strategic in the way that you monetize it. And so if you're going to be passionate at government contracting, be passionate about helping other people achieve, greatness in whatever they're doing. I want my program manager to become an SCS in the next couple of years. That's your goal as a government contractor. Why? Because as he grows, you grow. And you're the reason why he grew. Or she grew.
Do you have advice on how to manage your own clients?
Like I said, I think what I was just saying is, managing clients is, building a friendship, building a relationship. So, I mean, it's how your kids doing, oh, you like watches? Oh, let me get you this, you don't have to, you can't really do it in a government contract. Let me stop right now. $25 only. You only give them $25 gift. But, just, you like watches, I like watches. That's really interesting. Okay, we got the same thing on. Oh, that's interesting. What's the movements? What's the movements in your watch? He's like, well, yeah, this is Tudor, whatever, or this is Rolex and the Sky Dweller. Having those kind of conversations with people and being human. That's how you really manage your clients. The work is really easy. It should be. It should be a system. Like, you come in, you do an assessment. You synthesize, analyze the data, give them the reports, and solve the problem that they have with either software or adding more people to the contract to make sure that what they need to deliver is delivered on time and under budget. Mm-hmm. So that's how you manage your client. I really think it's most important to have a relationship. Like, yeah, my dog's name. Like, my client should know my dog's name. How's Chips doing? I'm like, he's doing all right. Got conjunctivitis right now, but he'll be all right.
That's really great advice. I was going to ask you how you use finances from the government to manage small businesses.
You don't make that much, so it's more or less it's helping you eat. It's helping you pay rent. Expenses, entertainment, right? That helps you have a base for, your Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like, just your fundamentals. It takes care of that. You don't really use that money to invest. Actually, here's a really great story. A friend of mine, she was working in Congress, and she was she'll get mad at me, subcommittee director for Homeland Security. That's pretty dope. Like, as high as you can really go unless you're a Congress, elected official. And she had a thrift savings plan. It's the 401k for government federal workers, right? And she took that and financed her book, the publishing of her book. That book has led to hundreds of thousands of dollars in speaking engagements, even more than that in client engagements outside of working for the government. So she quit and just lived off of the TSP deduction that funded her life for a certain amount of time. So that could fund your business. Like, but you have to be really, I told her the other day, like, you have so much, you're so clear on your purpose. And that's why your business is so successful. Like, you are so laser focused and knowledgeable about your field that nobody's better than you, and you know it, and you're humble, and people want to pay you for your skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
I think it's cool that you're actually in one of the properties that you're about to flip. Do you think it's important that everyone invests in real estate?
No. It's a headache. It's a headache. That's probably the hardest business field to get into because it's so dynamic. It's so dynamic. It's not every day. It's not repeatable. It's just, man, real estate is hard. I think what I'm doing right now is building a package for folks that want to flip homes. Like, I'm going through this process myself so I can have the right contractors. I can have the right, architects. I can have the right folks that are delivering materials and all that kind of stuff. Like, all of those things will be the package that I want to deliver as a business to other people, right? Like, hey, you can either invest in us, you can jump on board with us, we can train you on how to flip homes, how to leverage your homes for residual income. All of that is what we're looking to build out of this fun time trial phase of flipping homes and understanding the space ourselves. So we prove we could do it, and then we help other people do it.
So you mean to tell me it's not like on Instagram that I can buy a house for $50,000 and make $200,000 next week? It doesn't work.
I don't say it, but I mean, there are programs. There are programs, right? Jamal King, he kicks it with Eric Thomas,
Mm-hmm.
the hip hop preacher. I think I do my homework, so I paid for his course and everything. Like, I already been in the game. I've been doing it. I'm like, let me see if he's saying anything different than what I'm doing right now. He might have had a couple nuggets in there that I was like, oh, I'll take that one, but like, other people's homework is really important. Take other people's homework, man. Like, you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I ain't calling it cheating.
Hey, that's my motto. It got me all the way through college, doctoral. You know what I'm saying? I've been using that motto since elementary school.
Look, man, this is one thing one of my friends told me. Beyonce don't set up her own mic.
Nope.
Somebody else does. All she do is go out there and perform, So that's kind of where I'm looking to be, man. And I'm enjoying it, man. I'm 32 right now, and, got enough money to be happy and help other people and put other people on. And so now it's just to the point where I'm not tired and ready to sit down yet. Mm-hmm. Like, if I had all the money in the world, then it's like, I'll probably find some other way to be busy.
Yep.
Now, you mentioned that it's important to tell people what you expect of them. Can you expound on that?
So, Millionaire Mentor, Dave. I can't wait to do these videos with him. Basically, we were doing it all wrong. You go on Indeed or Monster or all that kind of stuff, and you're looking to hire folks or people looking for jobs, and you put a PD out there, position description, and it's like, bullet 1, must have 5 years of experience. Bullet 2, all that kind of stuff. My man Dave's position descriptions are 5-page essays on what he expects from you, when he expects it, how he expects it, when he's going to check in on you, what, and what your absolute role is in his company, right? And he only could do that by playing that role himself and understanding what excellence looks like in that role. Like, what's the gold standard for this position? Administrative assistant. He has a 10-page joint for his administrative assistant. He has a 5-page for his COO, right? And so it's very explicit. And I'm like, we will craft a template so that other people can take it and employed in their own field, but you should spend, 3 hours maybe writing explicitly what you want from the people that you're working with that work for you.
I use the motto of hiring slow and firing fast. Always looking for a joker. Because employees, man, I've had experience with employees, but I like that idea of writing that full description like that. Because I've been following the standard procedures, put the bullet points, see if you got the degree and the certifications, and
right.
Answer a couple questions, and you good with me.
Well, there's no room for error. There's no room for like failure. It's like you knew what you were supposed to do. You said you signed up for this, and you fell short. Did you fall short because you didn't have the technical expertise that you said you did? Okay, well, let me take you to school, right? Or let me give you this training. Or is it because you were lazy? And like I said, the most important aspect of it is, how do you follow up with the client? How do you make the company more money? Because you benefit from making me more money. You see what I'm saying? That's the expectation. You're not in there to do a job. You're in there to make me more money. How? Being great, finding out the rumors and the new task orders that are coming out, getting in front of the folks, building relationships with people, and bringing it back. I don't care about what you do for the client. I care about how you making me more money.
Come on now.
And Todd, you were just speaking on the importance of interviewing like 10 people a day. I don't know how you do that, but are these like, when you do interview these people, are these like things you tell them like as soon as you get on the phone?
Oh yeah, tell me about yourself, and then grill them, right? And I think it's really about you don't choose your family, you choose your friends. You know what I'm saying? And so anybody that's gonna work with me is definitely gonna be a friend, somebody that I enjoy being around, somebody that I can trust. And so I think the interviewing 10 people a day was just a number I threw out there, and I should be doing it. I'm not to that level. But ultimately, when I want to, I should have anybody that should have a backlog of people that have certain skill sets. You never know what's going to come in handy. Well, I interviewed somebody 10 months ago that actually has that same, talent. So let me go ahead and see if they're still available, or if they want to jump out of the position that they were in at another firm, because this one's a great opportunity for them. You see what I'm saying? So having that database, you can turn that into a staffing company. Just because you're interviewing people and meeting people with excellent talents and past performance themselves, because you could take their resume and throw it right into your proposal. And that'll be the thing that turns the corner, when somebody's like, that's exactly the person. They got the SQL, they've done AWS web services, blah, 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 they did all this stuff. And they also have 10 years of experience in whatever, degrees and all that kind of stuff. So I think having that bench, having that set of folks that you can always look to when you need them is really important. So it also builds your character as well, because you see people in not desperate need, but you see people that could benefit from being around you and learning from you and exercising their interviewing skills so that they could be successful somewhere else. You don't gotta be with me.
I love that. And I think they also become your network, and your network is your net worth, right? That's a big deal. So I appreciate that. Travis, you were about to say something? Because I'll just keep going.
Go ahead.
I gotta go jump in the car. My phone about to die.
So
this is really important to me. Right quick, I gotta show y'all this. This is Frederick Douglass's house.
Dang.
Right across the street from, the property.
That's a great selling point right there.
Somebody called me. But yeah. So make sure the sound is good again.
That's a
all right.
Heck of a selling point to that house.
I know, right?
Right. It's like Frederick Douglass lived across the street up the hill. So, It's surreal, man. We bought this house. We actually got this house the day after Kobe Bryant died.
Oh, wow.
And we started construction in April.
Yeah, I'm moving. So let me ask you, Todd. I know you talk a lot about utilizing other people's skill sets, and understanding that it's not really about you doing the work. As you started to build your team, who was the first person that you hired, or what was your biggest hire that helped you to keep it going? I know you have a strong team, and that's always been an interest of mine. But what was your first hire for your team?
My attorney. But yeah, get the lawyer on the phone. We can make it real. I think it's important to have somebody that understands the contracts, somebody that can help play defense, right? It's like somebody that's like, I wouldn't do that if I were you, right? Because they understand the consequences. They have 10,000 hours in front of judges, in front of juries, in front of people losing their houses, in front of people going bankrupt, in front of people getting divorces, and they see it all. They see it all, and they tell you exactly where you should be and where you shouldn't, and they read between the lines, read between the legalese. So that was kind of the first hire and partnership that came out of it. You met my attorney.
Yeah.
He's an amazing dude, man. And Brandon L. Wyatt Esquire, right? That guy is a corporate strategist and a compliance extraordinaire, and just can help you just everything. So that's number one. And I think that word self-starter is not a lie. Like, I want people like Travis. Like, Travis will be posting 10,000 posts. It's 2 a.m. I'm not sure why. And he's talking about government contracting. Y'all should be on this. Y'all should be doing this. He's on. So it's like, that's more than passion. It's like, he's obsessed with success. Like, my man is, it's like, man, I don't even know if I got enough energy to hang out with this dude, man, because this is too much. Those are the type of people you want to bring into your organization. Folks that are truly dedicated and, like I said, have a good spirit about them, good energy, and technically competent. Yeah, they should be able to do a couple things, but ultimately it's about communicating. Can they communicate what they've done? If that makes sense.
Yep.
That makes really good sense.
Jesus,
and I like having people around me that I can motivate and that motivate me as well. But then there are those people that procrastinate. Do you have advice for the procrastinators out there?
Lazy, man. I'm a procrastinator too. The thing is, like, I consider myself lazy, but ultimately I'm really not, because I'm doing just way too much. And I'm into way too much. And so when it comes down to my inbox being filled up, or, people wanting to call and talk and all this kind of stuff, it's just like, man, am I procrastinating? I should have called them last week, but when it comes down to procrastination, I think it's really about organization. The sun is like right there. But it's like organization, right? It's checklist, simple. Just write it down. Write down what you think you need, that you need to do on that day, and have your reminders popping up and just annoying the hell out of you. Like, all right, I'm gonna call this person. I'm gonna write that thing. I'm gonna do it because I'm tired of seeing this thing every single day. Use some software. What is it? Trello or Airtable. And then have somebody that's your accountability partner. And that's so lame. I hate that term, but that's what it is. I have somebody that, calls me every night and goes over my checklist with me.
She's like, okay, so did you call Devon today? Did you call Travis back about that app? I'm like, no, I didn't call Travis about the social media app that I need to call him back about. And I was like, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Like, and that's procrastination, right? And it's just having an accountability partner, having checklists, using software, and no one's perfect. And I feel like things serendipitously get done when they get done. But I would say instead of procrastinating, being proactive. And the thing and I'm lazy. So what I do is I'm like, how much is it going to cost me to have you write this, RFP for me, or this white paper for me? I'm doing one on HBCU initiatives right now. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I need to know, I don't have the time to do research on, how many minority serving institutions are out there, where people are getting paid, how they're getting paid, what jobs they're available for, I'll say Black people with STEM, and what successful programs are out there that have done this before and that we can replicate, right? So I said to one of the folks that work for me, her name's Lydia Hall. She's an amazing writer, by the way. She went and was like, hey, I went into CRS. I found this National Academies of Science. I found this, I found that. I pulled it together, wrote a skeleton white paper for me, and now I can take that and build it out for myself. Mm-hmm. So I'm not procrastinating. I'm lazy. I'm not procrastinating. And then I have somebody else do the work for me that did the bulk of the work, and now I'm just the editor. When you become the editor, you become the success. Like, don't write your own papers, edit them. If kids in high school are watching this, don't plagiarize.
Like you dropping nuggets on this thing. I hope people picking up what you're saying, and I'm with you. Let's pay people to do the stuff. Map it out in the plan. They can do it a whole lot faster than I can. That's for sure.
Right. When you gonna have that done by? Oh, next week. Okay, Friday. Close the business. Okay.
Go to work.
I love the saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I find that that's becoming very true in my life. One of my favorite books I ever read was How to Outwit the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill?
Yeah. Napoleon Hill. I love him. And then in there, he talks about like drifters. So like literally on my phone, it'll pop up like, are you drifting right now? How to be a non-drifter. All these things on my phone. It feels like fire under me when I see it. I'm like, oh, am I drifting right now? What am I doing? Like I have those reminders that will pop up throughout the day because of that book, and it like changed the way I just live, period. So that's one of my favorite books, which leads me on to the next round, which is our lightning fast round of our extremely opinionated podcast. So I want you to just say the first thing that comes to your mind when I ask you these questions, okay? Whatever comes up, just spit it right out. You ready?
Gotta get all the negative, inappropriate stuff that Todd would typically say out of my mouth.
You want your first thought. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
it might matter a little bit.
I didn't read these questions. I don't know what these questions are. All right, let's go. My favorite book is Think and Grow Rich, though.
Okay, the first question is, what's your favorite book?
Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. That's by Dennis Kimbrough.
I haven't read that one yet, so now I gotta add it to my list.
It's pretty much the same, but instead of Andrew Carnegie and Vanderbilt and all those other people that built America, he's talking about all the Black people that did it.
Yep.
I like that. Okay, what's the best way for somebody to expand and grow their circle with the right people?
Man, your associations. Remove yourself from negative associations. You choose your friends, you don't choose your family.
Okay, best way that people should spend their time on the weekends?
Drinking. No. Preparing for the next week. Sundays are preparation day. I have a few meetings on Sunday with particular clients, but ultimately it's preparation day. We schedule on Sunday. We're like, okay, we're going to do this. We got to talk to these people on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We go through the whole thing, and then we're like, okay, that's good. So spend that, and then enjoy family. And if you like cars, come out to the rallies. Come out and hang out.
The best way to fire someone.
You can tell, okay, so the best way to fire somebody is, first of all, you had the position description in the first place, right? They said, I'm gonna hold you accountable to this. You check in with them multiple times. If they don't perform, you send them a email notice like, hey, I'm telling you that you didn't perform and I would like you to perform better. And you do that 3 times, and then the third time you're like, hey, it's not that I don't like you. It's not that you're not a good person. It's just that you're not helping me make money and grow, right? And so you're gonna have a job somewhere, just not here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, top 3 things you must do to be successful.
Read. Write to yourself. Write about yourself. I think you need to be super self-aware. Like, I don't like, I'm one of the type of people that can't sleep past 6:30 a.m. I'm self-aware. So read, write, and be self-aware. You'll be successful in anything you do.
I love that one.
Yes. I say write to yourself, and journal. Understand yourself.
Right.
Facts. Okay. An example of how you turn a perceived failure into a success.
All failure is success. I think you only fail when you quit. I don't even know how to say anything else.
The best advice you ever received, and why?
Jesus.
So you got a lot of advice.
No. I guess it's one of my favorite terminologies right now. Optimize every interaction. What does that mean? Optimize every interaction. So if I'm on here with Trav, I should have had one of my clients' shirt on, you know what I'm saying, promoting them, right? We should be able to sell multiple products. Whoever this watches by, and whatever, I could, market them on this just by accidentally, showing that and getting money from that interaction. I can, if I hire somebody for one particular job, I can use them on 3 different things and turn it to my business. I want you to do a podcast with me. I want you to do my t-shirt line. And if I'm going to do training, you help me with the training. But I'm paying you to be at that government contracting facility every day.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Optimize every interaction.
Okay. And the last one here is to do business with family or not to do business with family.
Ooh.
I think it's up to you. Like, I would not. So here's the thing. You know somebody's heart, somebody's abilities, somebody's personality. If family is a friend, they're a friend. Like I said, you choose your friend, you don't choose your family, but that don't mean you need to hire your family unless they really, add value. And unless you want to invest in them, that's one thing that I could think of is if my younger brother, he wanted to get in the space of government contracting on the marketing side. I was like, all right, well, do marketing for me. Let me see how good you are and let me invest in you. Like, I'm paying you to get better for yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't have to work for me forever. So the family question is just like, it's up to you. Some people say don't, but I would say build your kitchen cabinet, like the cabinet, like the president has his cabinet, people around him. Build people, the kitchen cabinet. They can be family, they can be friends, and ask them that same question. All right, should we do business with our families? And you'll get 10 different answers, and you put that together and you create your own.
Yeah. I love that. I was just going to say, like, the people I work with, I want us to have the same mission, and, I could work with us. Go ahead, Travis.
Exactly.
I know you were going to say something.
No, I was just this has been a tremendous opportunity, and you've answered some valuable questions that a lot of people could take these answers and develop their business with. But I know you personally, and I know you have a lot going on. But there's one more thing that I wanted to ask you about because it's really big in the Black community, and you have a major role that you play. You actually don't talk about it a lot. It's kind of downplayed because you do have a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
The marijuana industry, it's played
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us. It's put a lot of us behind prison. When I say us, I'm talking Black
Mm.
men. And
Yeah.
you are actually, and if you guys don't know, Todd is a person on the front line in this marijuana industry. And I actually went and sat down in Capitol Hill and listened to Todd one day while he was preaching on our behalf. And it's even
Popped
something
up
more
on him.
amazing. He doesn't even smoke marijuana. Like, never has, but he's leading the charge on marijuana. So
I have, but I didn't inhale.
yeah, I know that topic fears us in the government, having all of that tied together. And I just want you to speak on it for a second. I know you have a lot going on with that. Could you just speak on what you do for the marijuana industry?
Yeah. So first of all, we're gonna call it cannabis. That's its name. Marijuana was a derogatory term for Hispanic folks coming over the border and taking their job. They took their drips. And so that's why they came up with that that term. But that's why I call it cannabis, whatever. I'm the chair of the board for the Minority Cannabis Business Association, and our job is to advocate for people of color to get into the cannabis space. 2013, I had epiphany or whatever. One of my friends got kicked out of school for less than an ounce of cannabis. Lost federal financial aid and housing. And so I put him on my couch and I was like, hey man, I'm a dare kid. You ain't doing that shit in my house, kind of stuff. And he's like, no. Look at the research. Charlotte's Web. And I'm like, what is Charlotte's Web? It's literally a little girl convulsing, smoking a joint, and she dripped some CBD oil under her tongue, and her seizures went away. And he was like, my mom passed away, and she could have lived longer or survived longer. There's research going on in Israel, and all these different folks doing this stuff, and cannabis is a major pharmaceutical product, but people don't understand it because of the stigma, the negative stigma. The marijuanas, the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, the Marijuana Tax Act, the Harry Anslinger, and all the other folks that associated with criminalizing and vindicating African Americans in the space of cannabis. It's come about that this is a medicine, right? And so I joined the fight. We do advocacy, right policy. We do business training, help people get financing for their businesses, and vocational training, and expungements. And I don't touch the plant. I don't desire to. But eventually I feel like cannabis is going to be so mainstream. It's going to be like bubble gum, right? It's going to be, and it might likely be more or less like the pharmaceutical industry where, if you're in the government and you got a little bit of money in the cannabis space, invested, it won't be a problem. And, depending on how this election turns out, especially in Congress and in the White House, it might be real. It might actually just be a mainstream thing that's just normal. It's normalized. It's out there. People use it. I know my close people to me kind of require it.
Mm-hmm.
They require it to just be normal, to be level, to deal with PTSD, to deal with chronic pain and inflammation. My dad uses it. He has rheumatoid arthritis. He has 2 knee replacements and a shoulder replacement. And the dude is moving around like he's, I'll say 48. he's 67 now, something like that.
Yeah.
But in the cannabis space, you know, I think there's a lot of opportunity there. It's still very risky. I advise people to get educated, you know, join MCBA. And, you know, I think that you should not disobey the law, but work within it and position yourselves to be successful in that business when it now and when it becomes really real. When I say really real, federally legal, it's federally illegal right now. But states have the choice to choose, you know, what they legalize, how they regulate, so forth and so on. So I think position yourself. I would volunteer at a, you know, dispensary, you know, say, hey, I'm just going to clean the bathrooms and you just teach me everything, right? Like, it's that simple. And, you know, I think it's a great space to try to be in. And it's just business. That's the thing I was looking for. Cannabis business is just business. Same way. You got product, promotion, point of purchase. That's it.
That's
You
it.
build a product, you sell it to people, you promote it to people, you sell it to them. You hire people to do that for you. You farm. The only thing that's different is you're farming.
Mm-hmm. No emotion behind it, just business. But, definitely, Todd, I definitely appreciate you for taking the time out to answer these questions for us so other people can hear about this and most of all see that a young Black male is actually doing it. You know, most of the time we hear our counterparts doing this and you don't really hear Black people doing it. And with that said, you guys know I am doing a 14-day government contracting challenge. And I'll probably try to get Todd in there one of them days to talk for you guys as well. But this is how it happens, guys. When you guys are even taking that challenge, like if you have an opportunity, the government allows you to partner with me, to partner with Todd, and go get this work. So it's all about expanding your network. And that's what we're going to be doing here because I really, truly believe more people should get into government contracting. Just off of what you guys have heard Todd say throughout this interview, you know, hire other people. And this is a great platform to do it, government contracting. But Tiffany, did you have any other questions for Todd?
I was just gonna add a point because you were talking about your mom, Todd, having, well, not your mom, your dad having arthritis. My mom has arthritis. My brother suffers from seizures to the point where they took his license away. He couldn't even drive himself. And then I have friends that have anxiety, depression, pain, just all the things that CBD is good for. So I think there's a stigma that does come along with cannabis, but it really is an herb. It's a medicine from the earth. So I just want to say it's how you use it, right? So I think it's imperative to say, hey, this is a medicine. People go to the doctor to get steroid shots to take away their pain, right? And if you think about the side effects of that type of medicine, and then you think about CBD, what are the side effects of CBD, right? It works. And the side effects are not there. So I think, you know, it's important to educate people on that too.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I think the last thing I wanted to say was thank you for the opportunity to be on here and to chop it up with you all. I'm working with a group out of California called the Minority Psychology Network, MPN. So I would love for folks to follow them. What they're doing is, you know, the stigma of cannabis on our side for MPN, the stigma with psychology. I think when I said be self-aware, write to yourself and all that kind of stuff, don't be afraid to go to a clinician, a therapist, a person that you can talk to about stuff that you don't talk to nobody else about, right? I think that's really, really important for people in the minority community, Black community, minority, you know, whatever. But ultimately, we feel like, you know, back in the day, it was like, oh, you going to therapy? Are you crazy? You know, like, I can't hang out with you.
Stigma.
But at the end of the day, it's just like, it's okay. And I think the Minority Psychology Network is putting together an app and all this kind of stuff to put, help people of color get access to resources that they truly need. So it's not just, the physical and anxiety. You said anxiety, depression. I kind of had struck a chord. And so, that group is something that's near and dear to me that I put a lot of time into for free. And that's what I think you could do on weekends is, work with nonprofits that have a mission that align with your core goals as well.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Todd, how can people find you and your website, your Instagram? Where can people find you?
All Travis. Website www.entrevation.com, entrevation.com, and I'm gonna make it smaller. I'm probably gonna do www.ev.com or something. I don't know, something stupid. And I am Entrevation on all social media platforms, and you can hit me on LinkedIn. My name, Todd J. Hughes, PMP. Yeah, that's it.
Ooh, I'll make sure I get those links up into our show notes as well so people can access you. Definitely do not hit me up to
Hit up Travis. Hit up Tiff.
Also, Todd's really big into cars. So if you guys ever want to get out to a car show, they're out there every weekend at 5 a.m. I can't quite wake up that early.
What is that? Oh, sorry. I was trying to see. Excuse me. Okay.
Foreign's over there. Definitely, if you guys are into that, check him out. His Instagram is always full of the most exotic cars out.
Randomness.
I didn't even realize this many exotic cars is in the DMV. But
it's a culture, man. It's the subculture out here.
I see it. So
the Teslas are the ones that giving us a run for our money, man.
I mean, I've been trying to put all y'all in Teslas, and I was laughing because you guys started sending me some electric BMWs and all this stuff. Look, man,
i8s. I got you the i8 and the Taycan, the Porsche Taycan.
It's only one electric car out here, okay? And that is Tesla. Like, these guys are just playing around.
This guy.
This
guy. Is Elon paying you? Optimize every interaction. He should be paying you for that, okay? You got like 6 of them.
But like you said, put a in everywhere at every time. So guys, when you hear about the Tesla, click the link and you can purchase it. Okay? Using my link.
No, the Cybertruck, right?
I got
Travis got 5 on back order.
Yeah, hey, look, I love Tesla. I'm going camping in a minute.
Oh my God.
Guys, we appreciate you for taking this time out, Todd. Tremendous information that you gave us. EV.com will not be available for you because that's electric.
You stole it. Electricvehicle.com.
That's electric vehicle. I know that ain't going to be available. But
I'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out. But guys, if you want to contact Todd, he's available. He always answers you guys. Maybe not right when you want it, but we'll get the answers to you extremely well. So check him out. Once again, I appreciate you for doing this show with us. I can't wait to get it up so others can hear about this information. And I'm looking forward to keep doing more business with you later in the future. And
let's get it done.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Thanks for tuning in to Extremely Opinionated Small Business Saturdays